Three whistleblowers are going to be splitting $1.7 million in a reward for bringing the defective airbags, the story behind the defective airbags that were made by Takata, bringing that to the attention of the regulators. The truth behind this story is the regulators had plenty of information to begin with, and they did what all regulators in America do today. They did nothing. Takata, the regulators that were looking at the Takata airbag absolutely knew how dangerous it was. They understood that the airbag would explode. It would send shrapnel into the heads and the bodies of people that were caught in the middle of that. I mean, it blows up, but it doesn't just blow up and cause a problem that's a minor problem. It burns the individuals. It throws shrapnel into their eyes, into their head. Deaths related to this. Okay, look, here's the point. Whistleblowers that worked for the company came in and said they knew about it. Pick up.
Well, the three whistleblowers in this particular case, they had been working with the regulators, but this, as you pointed out, was after the regulators were pretty aware of what was happening with Takata. Didn't want to do much of anything about it. Takata is one of the biggest airbag producers in the world, not just in the United States, in the world. So they kind of sat on the issue. But now that these whistleblowers, had come forward with this information showing Takata knew about it, they covered it up. They did not fix the problem. They built it into the cost of doing business. We know X amount of people are going to die. We're going to pay settlements for it. But that's going to be cheaper than recalling, 30, 40 million vehicles because we've essentially placed IEDs in their steering wheel.
Very well put.
Instead of airbags. And so these whistleblowers, had they not come forward with this, what we would have seen was the regulators dragging their feet on it a little bit longer, a few more deaths. I think right now it's at 22 people have died, countless
injuries, loss of eyes. Well, look, here's the point. Here's what's really creepy about this story. There are 59 million airbag inflators out there, 59 million of all different vehicles. At this point, there's only been 21 million that have been recalled and fixed. So you've got all of these airbags still out there being sold, used cars. People don't have any idea. A person buys a car that's a few years old. They don't think about, well, gee, did I check out the Takata airbag? And then the downside of that is the recall doesn't really get through to them. So they're driving around, as you point out, with an IED in their car. What's bothersome very bothersome to me, is you had they collected $1 billion in a settlement. Okay, now follow this. They collect $1 billion. The people who actually gave them the material and here it is, government, finally do your job. Department of Justice, actually do something instead of just talking a game. Go out and do something, which the Department of Justice is deplorable about. They rarely do their job where it comes to going after white-collar criminals. So here they find the Takata folks for $1 billion, and at this point, nobody's gone to prison, have they?
No, absolutely not, and they never will. Yeah. I mean, even if Takata intentionally made their airbags to do this, nobody would still go to jail because that's how it is. And these fines of $1 billion, $2 billion, $500 million, it doesn't matter what it is because they've got that money sitting in the bank ready to be paid off in fines because they've made 4 or 5 times that in profit. And it is what they call the cost of doing business.